Hi, I'm Larry from CWC. Today I'm going to explain to you the main features and the operation of this small but very powerful Hofmann SMH2 pH and ORP simulator and meter. As you can see at the top of the meter there are two BNC ports. The one is called pH millivolt input, the other one is called pH millivolt output. When we're using it as a simulator, we use the output. When we use it as a meter, we use the input. So let's start off by explaining using the Hoffman unit as a pH or ORP meter. Very simply what you do in the first step, and I'm going to demonstrate this for pH, however the operation or the logic for ORP is exactly the same. So first thing we're going to do is put the selection dial onto input pH, and then what we're going to do is we're going to plug the pH sensor, which is currently sitting in this beaker of water. We're going to plug it into the pH millivolt input. And as you can see, the display is reading 7.65 pH, which is the pH of the water. In the same vein, if one was wanted to measure the ORP of the water, you would have an ORP sensor in there, plugged in the same way, but you would change the dial to input millivolts, and it would give you the millivolt reading on the screen. The function of using this as a meter is very useful to verify as an independent reading, to get a comparison to a field meter which is permanently installed to determine whether that meter is reading the correct pH and or millivolts. I'm now going to demonstrate how to use this unit as a simulator. In this example I'm going to demonstrate how to use it for ORP now, and not pH, but the logic is exactly the same. So what we do, first step, is to plug the lead that is supplied with the meter into the pH millivolt output BNC connector, and the free end we actually plug into the meter in the field. What we do then is we turn the dial to output millivolts, and then what we can do is we can turn this dial on the bottom left to read different values. So there's 599, there's 400, there's 200, and so on, and 0. One can also sweep the value, and what that means is that if we go to a range such as 400, we can flick the switch here to part range sweep, and then what we can do is we can give a fine adjustment of the reading within that range, so it doesn't snap to a fixed value like 200, 400 and 600 and so on. But for all intents and purposes, having it on step calibrate is probably more than sufficient, and a very useful tool to calibrate your ORP meters in the field.